Hello, and welcome to my presentation about RDA, Resource Description and Access, an overview and examples. My name is Valerie Valicento. I created this presentation for my class on metadata in the summer of 2022 for Dr. Mary Bolin. What is Resource Description and Access? From the RDA Toolkit, RDA Resource Description and Access is a package of data elements, guidelines, and instructions for creating library and cultural heritage resource metadata that are well formed according to the international models for user-focused linked data applications. Resource Data Description and Access, RDA, is a set of rules and guidelines for cataloging. The guidelines are used to record attributes and the relationships between them. Brendorfer describes it as follows. RDA completely revamps the structure of the cataloging instructions by closely following the entity relationship model used to construct databases. The uses for RDA. RDA is based on the user's task. Put enough information in the record to help the user find what they are seeking and tie that information to additional resources in the catalog. For an example, search The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and you may not only find that title, but you may find more titles by the author, Mark Twain, but you may see his real name, Samuel Clemens, in the record. Why? Because Samuel Clemens would be in the RDA record for Mark Twain as a variant name for the person. The RDA Toolkit is where you find everything there is to know about RDA. It is a subscription service that provides you and your organization unlimited access to the resources you need to learn about RDA or implement it. You can find it at rdatoolkit.org. The template I created for the records you will see on the following several slides came from their example of the bibliographic records, and the website you can see on the slide. Why I chose resource description and access. When looking at the job market for librarians, some positions require at least some knowledge of cataloging. Metadata and cataloging positions require knowledge of RDA, Dublin Core, and the ability to work with specific library vendor catalogs like the OCLC, ALMA, and Ex Libris. These vendors use RDA, Dublin Core, as well as other metadata records. RDA records you will see on the following slides were created from my personal collection. These records were created for library patrons. The records include books, ebooks, and periodicals. The RDA template that I used, you will see on the slide. Not all sections will be used from my collection due to the fact that it is a small collection. So there are only 10 records, and I chose different records for different authors. So there are no relationships between the author and the title and things of that nature. An example of RDA records. I chose the Metadata Manual, a practical workbook. I gave it the title, proper, statement of responsibility related to title proper, designation of edition, place of publication, publisher's name, date of publication, title proper of series, model of issuance, identifier for the manifestation, media type, media character, I should say carrier, the extent of text, the dimensions, content type, language of expression, whether there was illustrative content and supplementary content. This is just one example of a record, so it included the title, like I said, the metadata manual, a practical workbook, the authors, Rebecca Lubis, Amy Jackson, Ingrid Schneider. It is a first edition. It was published in Oxford in the United Kingdom. The publisher is Shandos Publishing Hexagon House. It was published in 2013. It is part of Shandos Informational Professional Series. It is an ebook. I listed the ISBN number for the ebook and the physical book. It is an unmediated media type. It is a volume. It is 239 pages. Because it's an ebook, I did not get the dimensions. The content type is text. It's in English, and there are photos and illustrations. The book also included examples and indices. Then I have another book called The Girl with the Make-Believe Husband. That I listed the title proper, The Girl with the Make-Believe Husband, a Bridgerton prequel. It is written by Julia Quinn. It's a first edition. It was published in New York, New York. It's published by Avon Books. It was published in June of 2017. It's part of the Bridgerton prequel series. It's a paperback. I listed the ISBN number for the paperback and the online book and the ebook, excuse me. It's also an unmediated volume. It's 400 pages long. Its dimensions are 4.19 by 1 by 6.62 inches. It's text and it is in English. I will not be reading all of the records. These are just examples, like Bored Stiff by Piers Anthony. This is actually missing city of publication because Premier Digital Publishing is primarily an electronic distributor, so they mostly do ebooks. But this was a trade paperback published in 2013. I listed its dimensions as well as its pages. The next book you'll see is An Albatross of Kauai, the story of Koalakula. I mispronounce that name every time. It is a first edition. It's also a board book for children. It's 44 pages long, and there are many illustrations on each page. The next set of records the next one is a magazine. It's from the American Library Association. It's their monthly magazine called American Libraries. I listed out its designation of edition. I put the volume number, so it's volume 53, issue 5. I put its designation number for the magazine. The magazine is 45 pages. Yes, there are illustrations. It was published in May of 2022. The next we have is a book. It's The Might and the Almighty, Reflections on America, God, and World Affairs. It's by Madeleine Albright. It's a first edition. It's a hardcover book. I've listed both the Library of Congress number and the ISBN number as identifiers for the manifestation, as well as its dimensions and page count. The next example is the March Trilogy, which is, it's the slipcase edition. It's primarily written by John Lewis, but it's also illustrated and additional writing by Andrew Aden and Nate Powell. It was published in Marietta, Georgia by Top Shelf Productions. It's actually a 3-volume set of graphic novels. It is 579 pages. As you can see, it's a text and has illustrations. The next one is the card catalog, books, cards, and literary treasures from the Library of Congress. It's published by Chronicle Books in San Francisco, California. It is a hardcover. I've listed not only the ISBN number, but the Library of Congress number. I've also put the page numbers, the dimensions, and there are illustrations within it. The next one is This is What a Librarian Looks Like, a celebration of libraries, communities, and access. It's written by Kyle Cassidy. It's a first edition published in New York, New York by Hatchet Book Group, Inc. in 2017. I've listed also its Library of Congress number as well as its ISBN. And yes, I listed the page numbers and in fact it has illustrations. The next one is Fake News and Alternative Facts, Information Literacy in the Post-Truth Era. It's written by Nicole Cook. It's published by the American Library Association in Chicago, Illinois. It was published in 2018. I have listed all the ISBN numbers available for the electronic book, the physical book, the ebook, and I can't remember what the other one is. I'm sorry. It's 56 pages long. I've listed the dimensions and the fact that it's text in English. My references here are for the RDA toolkit from the American Library Association, the Canadian Federation of Libraries, and the Chartered Institute of Library Information Professionals, Dr. Bolin, and Thomas Brandover. I thank you for coming to my presentation on RDA. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I do hope that you have a fantastic day.